Welcome back to Plague Scythe Studios, everyone, and welcome to another little milestone for the channel. This is video 100. So we've been doing this for a little over a year now, and comes out to be a couple videos a week, and we finally hit 100, even though it's not actually going to be that much on the channel since I've unlisted some stuff, but we won't talk about that. And I will probably continue to curate some of the different content I've made over the past year to fit more in line with the channel's theme. As I've said from the get-go, I really didn't know what the future would hold for this little experiment and what kind of videos I'd end up making and what would stick. But I'm pretty confident in what that mix looks like today, so we'll definitely talk about a little bit of that. Some of you might have noticed recently there's been a little bit of artistic differences in the channel, not only the look of things, but the channel icon banner. So the new channel icon, which looks absolutely killer, is a product of a friend of mine from my hometown, Chris. He is a killer artist, and this is actually just like a rough sketch, and I love it so much. I said I'm putting that up right now. Definitely better than the royalty-free Plague Doctor thing I was using, but there will definitely be more art in the coming months, hopefully, and our initial plan was to kind of have a whole big rollout around like right on the year anniversary that the I put a channel trailer out, but that's come and gone, and just things were too busy for both of us, so ended up just sticking with this, and it looks awesome, and I'm sure the next iterations will look even better. But for now, at least have some original artwork, and I'm kind of looking like a real YouTube channel, which is nice. The banner's fairly similar, but I put in a little bit of a tube amp background to make things look a little bit more tidy, and change some wording and that sort of thing. The tagline is no longer Games Tech Metal, it is Gear Tech Metal, because as you've probably noticed from the past few months, if you've been a long-time subscriber, that we've strayed away from the video games completely, more or less. Do some stuff like Rock and Rage, where I'll talk about music or listen to music in the background of playing it, but it's more of a vehicle for music discussion, more so than anything. I tried to just see what that would look like, and as it turns out, I enjoy making music content more, and it's more popular anyway, so went ahead and changed that to Gear Tech Metal, which is more in line with the stuff I'm making, and little rolls off the tongue a little better in my opinion as well. So those are a few little changes here and there, and I thought I would just take the opportunity on this video to talk about some behind the scenes things I've not, answer a few frequently asked questions, and just talk about the state of the channel and some plans I've got going forward. I don't plan on doing the quarterly update series this year. I did that at kind of starting out just to keep in touch with the subscriber base, let them know I'm taking feedback and listening. But now that, like I said, I kind of think I've settled in on a little bit of a rhythm here, and I'll just update as needed. And when big things happen, you'll be the first to know about it. One of the common questions I get is, what's your name? You never say it. You never talk about yourself, whatever. And admittedly, I don't, so I'm going to change that just a little bit. So my name's Ryan, and I've been introing the past couple of videos with that ever since I've changed the Gear Tech Metal moniker to make things a little more consistent. And I've said it a couple times on early videos, but I've not since then, because first of all, I want the content of the channel to stand apart from myself. I wanted you guys to come here, not so much because I have a good personality, because I don't really think I do for this kind of stuff, but I want to make good content, and I don't think I need to plaster my name all over it. That's why I chose a name that is not my name for this channel, and I'll certainly talk about that in a second. But admittedly, for YouTube and to make this whole personal thing work anyway, should probably start saying it. So yeah, I'm Ryan. Been playing guitar for right at 11 years, this March actually, and my background is actually in engineering, believe that or not, even though I look this way. I was surprised as you are to be able to keep in that field looking this way, but times have certainly changed. And given the state of affairs of things with YouTube and just the whole internet celebrity, not that I'm one, trend, and just how fucking insane people are, that's about all I feel comfortable telling you people. So as personal and interactive as I want to be, just to be safe, I kind of have to keep this barrier between the audience and what I do. And that's not only for actual safety reasons, if you've been keeping up with the news, but that's also for my job safety, because I'm not exactly sure how this kind of stuff would go over in my career. More than likely it would be fine, but to have it's not exactly a conflict or anything, but it's just kind of weird. You know, I could see that being in a semi-professional space, be like, what is this idiot doing on YouTube showing how to get guitar tones? What a dork, you know? So it's easier this way if I just keep it a little bit separated. And speaking to that, there's really not many people know that I do this. I've got a couple of close friends. My parents know, mainly by virtue of just seeing all the crap I buy for the channel. Like, what are you doing with this? And sit in front of a camera like a sad, lonely dork and make videos. But aside from that, there's really not a whole lot of people that know I do this. Definitely no one in my work life that knows I do this, and I want to keep it that way. It's again, it's easier for me in that to have that separation. And I'll let one more cat out of the bag before I get on to some questions. Plague Scythe Studios. What the hell does that atrocious name mean? And it is a awful name. I'm not even going to pretend it's not. I mean, number one, having an acronym PSS like at the end of a letter invites some ridicule, but it just sounds like a 13-year-old's Xbox Live gamer tag. You know, it's not good. But unfortunately, everything else I could come up with, a couple options were quite a bit better in my opinion, were taken because, of course, we live in 2018 where everything on the internet has been taken, and good God do I envy people that can come up with unique names for media nowadays, and I can't imagine how hard it's going to be in 10 or 20 years. But I wanted something that would kind of reference some of my personal material, so I do use in a few songs that I'm, again, still working on, a plague doctor as symbolism, a scythe as symbolism, and I'm going to keep this super vague. It's not as edgy, you know, teen edgelord as it may sound, and I just wanted something like Zakk Wylde has his Black Vatican, you know, and that just sounds so cool. And that's what came out of it, was one of the original, like, actual results that didn't return anything, which was like, okay, I guess that's what we're going to do. Am I in love with it? No. Will I ever be in love with it? Probably not. But I think maybe eventually it will have some sort of funny, sentimental attachment to it at the very least. It looks cool in the font, I'll give it that. And yeah, I thought it would sound more official if you had a real name. I don't want to drop that. Like that, kind of like Spectre Sound Studios has, or Anderton's Music. If you had something like that versus just another long-haired dude who uses their name as you know, the channel name. And again, I didn't want to put my full name anyway, so that's kind of why I have that. And yeah, go ahead, make fun of the name all you want now that you have all the ammunition you need. With that out of the way, question number one, or comment. Baby Dimebag, Guthrie Govan's cousin. Jesus, is that you? I've heard it all. Like, I get it. I'm a long-haired white dude with somewhat, a little bit of facial hair. I get it. I look like other long-haired white dudes with facial hair that play guitar. And Jesus, and I brought the Jesus thing upon myself once I saw like at least 5 or 6 comments saying that, so I was like, ah, screw it. I'll, you know, embrace the ridicule with my Jesus costume that I didn't buy for that occasion, sadly enough. I bought separately for Halloween, but yes, I know I have a bit of a likeness. And thank you for all of you telling me that I have a baby face underneath this, and for that reason I'm definitely not going to show you any pictures of before I had facial hair, because it's really bad there. Other than that though, I'll take any skill comparisons to Dimebag or Mr. Govan, because they're both way better than I am. Question 2, which I don't necessarily see so much in the YouTube comments, but I've definitely gotten a couple emails regarding that, and spoke with a couple people personally that asked me this, along the lines of, am I in a band, or have I ever been in one? And the quick answer is no, not really. Jammed with some friends in high school, but really we would just do, you know, parties and get-togethers and that sort of thing, just covers, just to be background noise most of the time, and to hear the long-haired kid play my favorite 80s solo, that sort of thing. But after we graduated, or high school that is, and you know, I went to college, and everyone kind of went their separate ways. There was really no time for it. It would be a once a year at best sort of thing. We just wanted to get together and jam if we had time. And now that I moved away, it's basically impossible unless you know, we coordinate something if we just want to have fun. But as far as an actual band goes that, like, you know, try to do something serious, no, not really. And now it would be even more impossible. Could, you know, kind of do it on the weekends, but I'm really just not looking all that hard. I'm trying to figure out where I fit in more so than anything before I pull other people into my projects, and because of that I'm a bedroom artist first, and that's why this channel I feel like fits that a little bit better. The downside of that is I can't tell you if some of this gear is roadworthy or whatever, but at least give you my angle, and an angle that I think a majority of guitar players fall in nowadays. In that light, question number 3, do you have music I can buy? Hold tight. That's all I can say right now. I've gotten a few of those comments, especially on like the 1,000 subscribers video where I played something original. People were like, hey, you know, some people were questioning, is this available, or do you have something out? Do you have a SoundCloud or a Bandcamp, anything like that? And no, not yet, because I'm a stickler for if and when my material is going to release. I want people to hear exactly what's in my head. I know I'll never be able to get to that point, but if I can get 99, even 98% accurate to that, then I'll be, I think that'll be reasonable to let people hear it. What I don't want to do is look back and think, oh my God, that sounded like shit. I wish I would have just waited and spent, you know, a little bit of money on a mixing and mastering engineer. So it's coming. I'm working on stuff, and I've got so many projects, so little time, so little attention span even. It's not that I don't love sitting down and, you know, fumbling through all this stuff. I learn stuff about audio production every time I do it, and I thoroughly enjoy it. But I've got like an 8-string heavy thing I want to do. I've got this progressive 8-string thing I want to do. I've got a southern rock style flavored sludge doom metal with a country twist I can't even describe until you hear it type thing. I've got some really clean acoustic driven stuff I'd like to do, and a mixture of all of that in between somewhere. So every time I sit down and do something, I'll get through generally a demo of a song, or if I'm writing a new one, and then I'll think of something for another genre, and I'll go, oh no, that's the one I want to work on right now. And I go back and forth between them, where by the time I get back to the one I started on, I've completely changed, not necessarily my direction, but the sound I want, what I have, you know, tonally speaking, for the direction I want to go. And it's just like I'm spinning my wheels here. So I think what that's telling me is it's not ready. A lot of the stuff isn't ready, and I need to build upon it. Definitely not ready lyrically speaking on most of the stuff, but musically it's pretty good. I just need to sharpen my skills and get some different gear for a couple things, like the heavy 8-string stuff. I don't have the guitar I want for that, so I'm building it. Several reasons otherwise for a couple of other things. So when it happens, believe me, the people who watch this channel will be the first to know, no doubt about that, because you know, the guys and girls, all like 2 of you out there that watch this stuff, I definitely want you to have first access to it. So when it does happen, you'll know about it, but for now, this is kind of all building up to that. Lastly, can you do a VST or AX8 tone match of insert band's name here? Maybe, maybe not. Although it may seem like I know what I'm talking about sometimes, most of the time, I'm not really an expert in any of this crap. So say on like the Devin Townsend VST videos, people say, oh, okay, you got a good progressive metal sound here. Here's 2 other progressive metal bands I really like. Can you do them too? Odds are I probably don't listen to them. May know some of their material, or I might be familiar with a little bit of their tone, but the stuff that I do, that I show in these videos, isn't just like an hour of work. And I could get close, you know, if I listen to some, it's like the 80 for 20 rule. I could get mostly the way there without putting too much effort into it. But the stuff I feel comfortable showing, and what I think has the most long-lasting effect as far as learning wise, is the stuff that I've spent hours and hours either playing or tweaking. And because of that, I don't think in a lot of these, like, hey, can you do just this one off the cuff, I'm going to be all of that useful on. I think the most valuable tool for the people who are asking those kind of questions would be like a behind the scenes video of how I build presets personally, and, you know, show a time lapse of what it sounds like over, you know, several days of me tweaking with it. And it's one of those videos I've had planned forever, but I don't have the gear for the band I want to do and a specific band I want to do, because it'll kind of show everything, and that's the goal, is to show whether it be cleans, how I build scenes, how I build solo tones, whatever. I want to show it all. And that way you can apply it to whatever your band is. Someone did ask about Gojira, and I do plan on doing them because, again, it's a band I like, but just because I like a certain band in a certain genre doesn't mean I know them all. Just because I like DTP doesn't mean I know exactly how to dial in John Petrucci's tone, which I could get close, but just because I know Meshuggah's stuff doesn't mean I know every gent band or hardcore or metalcore band out there. It's just not the way it works. So the short answer is maybe I could do your favorite band's tone, but what you should probably do is watch the videos I make, learn the way I go about it, and you know, hold tight for the one where I specifically show everything, and apply that to your favorite bands and the tones you're trying to achieve for your personal stuff, because I think that's the more valuable part of it. It's not necessarily how to achieve and how to copy Zakk Wylde's sound. It's how to get your sound going about the same thing. So that's my tidbit on that, and that applies to most videos, you know, and requests. Can you do this? Probably, but how valuable it'll be, probably not as much as if you just, you know, learn it on your own, but that's the way everything goes. Before I wrap this up, I definitely owe you guys such a huge thank you for getting as far as I have. We're not slated to become some huge breakout channel or anything, but I never expected to get here. You know, just having videos break 1,000, tens of thousands of views is amazing to me. And every time I see someone say this has really helped me understand this piece of gear, or I've achieved the sound I want to, or you've helped me, you know, achieve my own artistic vision through creating music, that always makes it worth it for me. So I definitely appreciate the positive feedback. You know, I don't know what the future holds. I don't know we'll be at double the subscribers or triple, if we're going to exponentially grow and this will be something serious. But if we stay completely flat and nothing else ever changes, I will still be happy, because I know there's stuff I'm making that is helping people, and that, you know, makes me extremely, you know, I feel very fulfilled doing that, because growing up there was always the you know, kind of knights in shining armor that would do the same thing on forums, and back then there really wasn't YouTube videos very much showing this sort of stuff, but you know, you'd have your random people that would kind of come to the rescue of gear reviews and that sort of things as well. And that's what I'm trying to do, is kind of pay it forward and get people further along their musical path at accelerated rates compared to the way I did it. There's just so many of these little things that you don't know until you know. So with that, as far as plans go for the future of the channel, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Basically, I'm going to keep making the videos I like to make, and according, you know, making adjustments according to how they're received, as always. I mean, it's just the best thing to do. And for the frequency of videos, I started out with like once every 3 days, and now that I've, you know, settled into a job, between my energy and trying to get all this other stuff done, still practice guitar. That was one thing that was suffering at the beginning of doing this channel, because I was so passionate about getting it started and talking about stuff I wanted to. I realized it was like, when I did play guitar, I was just like jamming and just, you know, just to play guitar. I wasn't actually trying to get better or do any of the things that got me to that point. I was like, oh, well, that's probably not a good thing. So because of that, I've dialed back on the video making a little bit, and because of other personal obligations. So we're closer to once a week now, and honestly, I've seen that be beneficial, because much of the videos that I did when they were closer together, YouTube doesn't like that. You either should like put out daily or do once a week, because they'll just drown your videos. Especially, it's like a golden rule of YouTube: don't upload more than once a day, because then you're completely screwed. So as far as exposure goes, I think this works out fairly decently, but I'm still running into the same problem I'll always have. I have more ideas than time, so at some point it's going to just be a flood of Excel spreadsheets like I have already, detailing some ideas for videos, but I think it's a good problem to have. That's about it, I think. So again, huge thank you for sticking around. Huge welcome if you are fairly new, and hope you like the stuff I have to offer, because I'm having a lot of fun with it still. So that'll be about that. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you in another 100 videos and another double, triple subscribers. Wishful thinking. Thanks for watching. Bye.